Fourth, it might be worth taking a look at European Space Agency, since they do have a lot of opportunities available. I have taken a look, and there would be more than perhaps 20 different opportunities available right now, also live opportunities, right? But before we can do that, perhaps let's understand a little bit better of what this organization was set up for in the first place. They have very ambitious goals, right? Where they're looking to tackle space and perhaps ways of how that could bring a lot of value for taxpayers who have spent so much money in supporting such organizations. That's brief. That's my own words, right? Since they put in a lot of numbers, so that there's no rational way how to measure those kind of things, right? But they put a lot of work, so let's try to understand this organization a little bit better. Since myself, most likely, I see myself working with some of those organizations in the future. Some of the services that would be intellectual property. They are advertising that they do make some of the intellectual property. Okay, so on the company's website, they say ESA makes its intellectual property available for European space companies within the 22 member states on free license basis. This is what they do. I have contacted them. There's no response. Everyone's busy. They're minding their own things, right? Good. ESA Learning Hub. The ESA Learning Hub is a web-based platform which provides access to training courses and or materials linked to ESA programs and initiatives. If it's something that you're interested, perhaps there is something available there. Matchmaking. ESA Match is the newest additions to European Space Agency's ESA Star tool sets, right? This is what they are saying. It's something that I have reached out, I have sit down, I have spoke with some of the administration staff from this organization. That administration staff direct me to a number of people. There is no response from those people, right? So again, they fail. Waste of the taxpayers. So far, this organization is failing every step of the way. Next one, European Space Index, virtual portfolio of European publicly traded space companies. Okay, okay, perhaps, right? So they making a lot of investments there. Space tech platforms, access to real-time information on startups and funding. Okay, so they at least because it perhaps is within the requirements that they need to make it available, right? Not that they want to, but they need to access to real-time information on startups and funding. So okay, so it's a number of services that they can offer. Perhaps others will have different experience when it comes to taxpayers' money and the way how it's been used currently. Let's start with the first opportunity. I cover five or so, and let's take one out of those five, perhaps one for fun, right? Since perhaps this organization is looking to achieve kind of different things, right? Since this kind of area might be very challenging to tackle some of those issues, very costly, in particular making money out of some of those ventures, right? If anything, I think that some of those organizations are only looking to attract more attention in some of those activities, as well as currently within UK, they have their own agency, which I personally believe it would be structured slightly different when it comes to UK, right? So it would be UK's agency that I would need to work with, and UK might need to receive permission from European Space Agency, right? So they're like a parent company, I guess. That's one way to look at it. So I'm not entirely sure what's happening with everything, and if it won't be too much of a waste of my time currently reaching out to some of those organizations and looking for ways to collaborate, right? As well as those people up there. Again, that's my personal experience, but others might have different experience. I don't know. I have taken a look at perhaps eight or so opportunities. I don't know if I'll cover all of those. Let's start with entry level. Small projects, perhaps budget that we will be looking at, perhaps 5,000 euros up to perhaps 50,000 euros. That's a sweet spot, in particular in the beginning. I don't know what the team is like working with this organization or any organization, if they're looking to collaborate, work together, or it would be more of a hands-off experience where I would need to go and complete everything. But either way, or it will be more of the developing a project, quick one, 6 months, and closing some of those projects. something that myself is something I might be keen in working before tackling large projects, right? So entry level, there are small ones perhaps, if they have any of those available, perhaps education material, anything that would work, right? I'm not that interested in perhaps large projects, in particular in the beginning, since there's might be a lot of things changing in the future. We almost at 2024, where usually every 4 years there's administration of different governments coming into effect. I don't know how some of the centers are being managed, so there might be a lot of changes, a lot of things, and there might be change of teams. I prefer sticking with the same team, so I would know what are expectations for any projects and what would be expectations of completing some of those projects, what would be supporting staff, so a lot of things, right? Before I commit to any of those, and let's start small, setting expectations, and perhaps starting with a small project. So that would be ideal, right? And let's take a look at this opportunity. That would be the ESRIC startup support program, right? So support, I guess, if they would be able to offer anything, right, for any business, I personally believe. But let's delve a little bit deeper and try to understand this opportunity. In 2021, European Space Resource Innovation Center (ESRIC) launched the first worldwide startup support program entirely dedicated to space resources. Okay, they have triggered and they are considering a cluster of technical solution providers enabling the development of the in situ space resource utilization value chain. We are delighted to announce the fourth call for applications open until 15th of December. It's live now, so I thought it might be worth taking a look at, but this opportunity will going to be closed within the next 6 days or so. Some of those organizations, I don't know if it's this particular opportunity is a good opportunity. So they would like you to fill in a lot of forms, tell about your products and services. I don't see how or if that's the best way of doing things. I think that this organization or very similar organizations should offer a lot of support, since they already have those facilities, they already have those people over there, and they should be able to offer those kind of services. But that's my personal understanding. If anything, let's summarize and touch on some of those important things which I think is important. Let's take a look at funding and how this organization has been funded. I personally believe that's a good place of starting, since today I'm going to be looking at some of those activities. Funding. ESA activities fall into two categories: mandatory and optional. Programs carried out under the internal budget and the space science programs budget are mandatory. They include the agency's basic activities, studies on the future projects, technology research, share technological investments, information systems, and training programs. So that will be funding, and some of those activities that will be funded. I can attach more screenshots about some of the way how they would allocate and the budget and how it's been broken down into what activities would be funded under. Perhaps that would be good representation of the way how this organization is being run according to some of those metrics like finance and how well this organization has been managed, I guess. This is for everyone to understand, right? How money and to what areas should be allocated, right? And yourself, so if they offering intellectual things like intellectual property, then it comes to perhaps navigation, right? How you yourself, if you anything like farmer, right, and you have a lot of perhaps different technologies out there on the fields, and you're looking to attach those technologies into navigation, and how you can see everything perhaps on the map on your tablet or something, right? And you can receive all intellectual property into operating some of those machines, right? If it's something that you're interested, perhaps this would be one way, and from there, how your already money been allocated to this kind of area, and how you yourself and you're running your company, you can benefit from some of the research work done within those areas, right? So that would be just one of those ways, right? All member states contribute to these programs on a scale based on their gross national product, GNP. The other programs, known as optional or only of interest of some member states, who are free to decide on the level of investment. Optional programs cover areas such as Earth observation, telecommunications, satellite navigation, and space transportation. Similarly, the International Space Station and microgravity research are financed by optional contributors. I have seen some opportunities there within the industry, as well as I can attach the way how budget will be broken down by the uh, different country, I guess, if that matters. But based on that country's perhaps budget and involvement, right? In total would be 4.9 billion euros of the budget that this organization is working with, and perhaps some of the member countries, and how much they can invest in some of those programs, and yourself as a business, or perhaps looking to operate as a business in the future, how we can work together. Only if with some of those organizations would be more responsive, right? I don't know, perhaps it's Christmas season or something. Everyone's losing their mind over there. Hopefully not. Yourself, if you are interested in learning more, I have published a book, Game Strategy. Within this book, I'm sharing a lot of information, which I personally believe would be very important for any of you who are interested in setting up and starting your own business. I would broken down the process in three different stages. That would be a first stage where you yourself you would need to do a lot of research, where you would try to understand what kind of industries you would like to venture in, what you would need to know before, as well as what would be required of you, right? Once you finish with the first stage, you would progress into the second one, actually taking action on information that you would find, and starting a business, setting up a company and running and working as a company. From there, once you start getting a lot of resources, stage three would be allocating those resources and supporting different projects, right? So having your knowledge, resources, expertise working for you ideally. You can find that within this book, QR code in the corner, company's website below. Perhaps that will be one of those government institutions, right, where you can have or receive support and assistance from. Myself, I haven't done anything with them yet. So far, the whole process would be perhaps just my personal experience was very painful, right? Since everyone's busy, no one has time. They have so much funding already been invested in so many different areas, and now when you're trying to receive some of that funding, so the process is way too hard. So let's focus on that, addressing some of those areas, right? And from there might be a way how we can progress into other things, right? Or myself, I can progress into doing other things, right? But so far the process, just my personal experience, right? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.